All right. Okay, so yeah, let's just kick off. Uh, that coffee is there. You can just stand anytime you want and grab one coffee. And there's a pizza behind, which is just right. My pizza estimator was just right for the crowd. Very experienced. So today we've got a bit different event. Usually it's me talking or somebody from our team from Somin talking, but today we've got Vitaly. He just joined us recently, particularly for competitor analytics product, and he's helping us to shape it. He's in the marketing, I think, how many years? Like whole your life since born, like. And in marketing, same. Yeah, I think he got his own business in AR and VR stuff. Actually, if somebody want to listen about VR, we can make one next time. Yeah, just come back to our group in LinkedIn, and you can tell us which session you want to have, and we can talk about those things as well. This is our group. All the recordings are in there, so you can just join it, and you'll see all the materials, the slide, recordings of all these talks, and everything in there. We've got like 953 people, so let's make it 1,000, at least in maybe months from now. So today we're gonna talk uh, about something like this, like a library, but not really about the library. Actually, this library is just to inspire you. This is also generated by AI. We're gonna talk about large language models. How many of you heard about large language models? How many of you heard about ChatGPT? You didn't raise hand in the first time and second. What's the difference? Okay, anyway, apparently ChatGPT is one of the large language models, but nobody really call it this way, and also nobody really knew large language models before ChatGPT came out. The reason why, actually, I'll cover it later. There's a reason why it's this way. But generally speaking, large language models, they are really large. And why I like this picture is because it kind of allowed me to imagine how these huge neural networks process the data. So usually we had like a small machine learning models. I also came from background of machine learning, so I was doing quite a bit of this computational machine learning. But nowadays we got models that are substantially bigger than anything we had before. So it's not that models are really smart, they're just big. And the problem is that before we didn't really have a chance to process a really big data and build really big models. And recently there were a couple of tricks on the algorithmic side and also on the, hardware side where you have to host this model somewhere, right? We've got a couple of tricks that allow us to build really big models and make them really powerful. And when I think about LLMs, I'm thinking about this Alexandria library. It's like you look, you have so many books. You probably spot what you want to find somewhere far away, but you don't really know that's what you really want to find, and it's just absolutely impossible for you to read all of them or process all of them. Computers apparently can do this, and that's where the large language models come in place. I'll tell you a little bit about the history, not university, yeah, and I will take just a little time for it, but in fact it's quite important to understand because I am a computer scientist. I originally like to think about AI not just about some magic robot that doing stuff, but more like about the whys of it. So it's important to understand the history. So last time we had, first of all, we had this ELIZA in 1967. Alan, it's like your childhood. No, okay, I'm kidding. So we had ELIZA, right? So ELIZA was first chatbot. It was based on the rules, like you asking it, "How are you?" And then it says, "Fine," or it says, "Good, thanks for asking. How about you?" Or maybe it can say, "My data have never been better." It's like even trying to joke a little bit. So it's a rule based. It's you asking something and then it randomly chooses the answer and it answers you. If you ask it something that it doesn't know, then sorry, it doesn't know. I'm not gonna get an answer. I'm gonna get some generic one. What is important that in early 1967, humanity and computing community already realized that we could actually talk with computers. We could actually get some information from computers in a different way, not just by the punch cards or later mouse, etc. Then we got those recurrent neural networks. LSTM is one of them, but just recurrent uh, neural networks. And those networks were very good in predicting their next thing. So, for example, those AI was able to say that the next word after the mouse ate there will be cheese, or maybe some other food that the mouse is likely to eat. But generally speaking, that's how it works, right? So the mouse eats there, and then the cheese goes next, and after that, the network is very good at predicting the job. However, if it gets some sentence like this, when I saw Dorothy and the scarecrow the other day, I went to her and said, hi. LSTM will get a problem because it could say, hi, Dorothy. It could say, hi, other day. Or it could say even, hi, scarecrow. For neural networks, that would be kind of non-obvious what it should say hi to. Because they are predicting the next thing, and this window of what it looks at is pretty short, and it's not capable of, grasping this context. Remember, how many of you are using ChatGPT or GPT-4 in your daily work? Cool. So remember, there is a thing called context window. Yeah. So this is the thing. It's how much data it can get into it, consume in order to process the result, but it's also quite related to how much context it can grasp to give you the response. So, for example, the rule saying that, oh, I have a very small input, that's why I use a cheaper LLM because there is a context window is shorter, is actually a bad rule, because the LLMs with a bigger context window will be always a little bit smarter, a little bit better in generalizing, give you a better answer because it actually can grasp more of the data. Why I'm talking about this is because in 2017, Google got a problem. Their translator didn't really work. Well, it worked, but it worked not so well, especially when it comes to non-English, like to some weird languages, like, shouldn't say weird, rare, yeah, rare languages. So it was much worse in it, and they were figuring out, okay, what should we do? And then they created something that called um, attention network. When the neural network was looking for particular pieces of data and capable to infer from those particular pieces of really huge data, instead of just predicting like the next thing, like the recurrent neural networks. And it worked very well. It helped to solve the translation problem. And after that, we were working and working and working, and we get this guy who created GPT. First it was 2, then 3, then 4, and then ChatGPT, then 4. Then now we have 4 Turbo. I think maybe in summer, my prediction, maybe end of summer, we're gonna get 5. And all those GPT family models that finally everybody started talking about it. Apparently, you should say thanks to Google, who was doing it in 2015. In fact, I was doing my PhD in 2014 and 15 at that time. And for me, all this hype about ChatGPT, we were excited about that time, like 10 years ago. We were working with all this, and we were thinking like, oh, okay, that's cool. Now finally arrive to the real world. So, and yeah, do you know who is this? Do you know the guy? Yeah, Sam Altman. Let me see whether I can maybe. Yeah, I think that will be a little bit better. So he was coming in Singapore last year, and I was asking him. I had a chance to chat with him, asking him the question. So why do you guys invest so much money not in the startups that generate content or make a chatbots like the whole world is talking about? But instead, you're investing so much money, like literally VC investment in startups that doing some regular stuff, like Photoshop. But with a human interface with it, like you're gonna talk to Photoshop. And then he said, well, obviously we used to have a punch cards, and then we had a mouse and keyboard, and then after that we've got touchscreen. My like 3 years old daughter can use touchscreen, no problem, better than my father, for sure. Yeah, and that was like simplification, and it's much more natural to to touch instead of using a mouse. But then that's LLMs is just the next step. You're now gonna get a human interface with computers. So you're gonna chat to Photoshop, chat to PowerPoint. In fact, there are applications, copilots about exactly that, and they're already working. So maybe, like I've got a newborn recently. Now he's like 9 months old. He doesn't talk to me yet, but maybe computers will be able to talk to him pretty easily within a very short time. Because come on, it's so easy to train neural network to understand what infant trying to do and to say. And yeah, I mean, for me, again, as computer science, it's actually a very easy task nowadays to do these things. So that means LLMs are not really about their generating content, but they are also about understanding the data. So while everyone will start working about on topics like how to generate content or how to build another chatbot, our company, we decided, okay, why don't we take a little bit more ambitious goal? Why don't we get computer to understand the data and assist people like analysts or become actually the analyst of your company that looking into data and very fast telling you what's going on in there on the fly. Because we kind of worked with the data, we published papers about it, we kind of have a sense that is going to happen. That's why we created the platform called So Monitor. I mean, we actually have many. Just what I wanted to show you is this one this time. That is working with the social media data and is capable of understanding the information that everybody, like competition, is running right now. Okay, let me try to find it here. So can you see the screen? Yeah. So this is the platform that looks into Gojek, Tada, Grab, and Comfort ads. You know this company pretty well, right? This, yeah, I mean, few of you probably used them to just arrive to this session, right? Yeah, and the disclaimer is, I do work with Gojek, but I don't work with the rest. But somehow I know everything about what they do in terms of their advertising and in terms of their organic activities, and I would claim I know it better than their own analytics team and their even content marketing team. Not because I'm smartish, I'm pretty average, but because I have the data, and not just have, like many companies have the data. I have the data, and I have opportunity to apply LLMs on this data to be able to look in all the information and quickly make a decision. So this actually like a social listening stuff, right? So it's just to grasp the statistics, so you can see like Tada, Gojek, Grab, Comfort, they're all running ads with a pretty standard approach to machine learning. You can already predict which ads are actually working for them and which ads are not working for them. You can see, for example, that Grab, they actually got a lower score than others because they run lots of ads and many of those ads are not working. Anyone from Grab here? I don't want to get in trouble. No? No? Anyone? Any relationship? Are you consulting Grab? No? Okay, fine. Yeah, so they're quite screwed, yeah? I mean, that means they have a team that's running a lot of ads, but those ads are not working. And it's pretty obviously you can predict this. In fact, if you look at how many ads Grab is running, you'll see that they occupy 40% of the market, and another 41% is occupied by Gojek. And if you look at all this, placements, where they run this ad, like how they compete. But actually, if you look at this, you can tell which exact ads are performing well and which exact ads are not performing well. And what is interesting is that for every single ad, if you use large language models, you not just predict, for example, whether this ad is working or not. Like for example, this one is clearly not working. Yeah, but it's also capable to break down the content of the ad in a very, very, very detailed fashion. So for example, here, automatically in a second, you can identify this Hyundai i40 inside, that the perks that they offer you is $70 day rental. So actually, this ad is about attracting drivers into, which brand is that? Comfort. Yeah, so Comfort looking for if you have decided to change your job recently, I mean, you can take a screenshot. Al, you decided to change the job. Yeah, what's the question? Click-through rate. I mean, I didn't give you this background. Our company running ads for the last 6 years. So we got millions of dollars of ads with the CTR, CPAs, and all kind of A's and R's. We can predict, yes. So it's like a lot of data, so we can predict this. And then I think right now we are like about 72% or 75% accurate. For the reference, human is like 21% accurate. Those humans that feel that they are good, they are 21% accurate, so it's already 3-4 times better than a human. Apparently, humans are quite bad in judging the creatives. That's why we have big creative performance department deciding which creative to choose to run the ad. Anyway, yeah, yeah, emotions are evil quite often. Yeah, so yeah, even in life. So, so we got the content types, right? So you can categorize. Like this one is about discounts, product offering. It's about promos. It's about Easter. Actually, yeah. Actually, what is interesting here that if I open a Chinese ad, it will be able to identify Easter inside. I cannot. I can't read Chinese, but it will be able to. Why? Because remember, LLMs they came from translation engines. So for large language models, it's extremely natural to work with, we call it multilingual embeddings, which is just walk cross language. Imagine a human that knows all the languages and knows it like a native, so that's thinking in that language. So that's what the nature of LLMs is. Of course, there's less data of non-English, some, I don't know, some maybe African language, there's less content from there, so maybe it will be a bit worse. But generally speaking, LLMs are translators and knowledge extractors at the same time, which makes them very powerful. You don't need to build country by country. You can make a multinational solution, and this is multi-country solution, and all these kind of things, right? So before I give you exact case study, which is Vitaly will tell us, I just want to show you that actually, literally, you can go to the whole dashboard in there, all the content inside there, and you can just dive deep through organic or through paid. Here's organic, here's paid, right? You can literally look at all the ads, for example, for Go, Jack, and Grab in the last 30 days on these platforms, and you can see that, for example, they were very much focused on business owners. See here, one of the dominant audience was business owners, entrepreneurs, and companies. So actually, they are fighting against each other pretty much, and Gojek just a little bit bigger in terms of variety of different audiences that they are addressing. And then you can say, okay, clear, these guys are fighting against the business audience, so maybe we can put business owners and businesses and some kind of business-related categories here as a filter, and see what else in terms of communication these guys are exhibiting. So you see, Gojek is much more diverse, and if you look at, for example, topics, you can see that Gojek talks quite a bit about business, career, finance, value-added services, and technology. If you look for different, let's say, customer like insights that is happening in the industry, you can see that businesses need tools to streamline their transport operations. People want to simplify, streamline work-related tasks. This thing can be converted into CMS, where the business is competing against each other. Then you find a niche that is not that much occupied communication-wise, and you push your campaigns there. This is what quite often creative people are doing manually, and now you can do it like in 30 seconds. And this is not content generator. Yes. 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 Yeah, they spend quite a bit, but yeah. We are not able to because we don't have the data as you mentioned, but as I mentioned just before this session, any data can be processed this way. It's really just about you having a right, your own ML or ML machine learning or your own AI that is able to dissect it into, let's say, what works, what it doesn't, which we have because we have lots of data in the past. Plus, you need to really fight this hallucination thing. And with the next version of LLMs, they claim to have less hallucination, but in reality it's become more because they put too much constraints on them on LLMs in order not to, be politically correct, diverse, and gender equal and all these kind of things. Right? So if you manage to fight the hallucination so that your neural network is precise in responding, like I'm asking, is it left content better or the right content better? If you manage to train your LLM to say right is better because there is a cute puppy on it, instead of right could be better because it's bright, but left also could be quite good because there is a cute puppy in there. If you manage to make LLM to be precise, which is the biggest issue, by providing it with your data that only you have, then you will be the best. You will be faster. You'll be deeper than many humans. But of course, we don't think that this is a human replacement. In our opinion, this is more like a tech that can enable first early career people, second mid-career and professional with a much faster decision making. Because to the end in the business, fast decisions is what? Money. It's well, yeah. I mean, KFC CMO say it's crucial. Means it's crucial, guys. I mean, this is something you have to admit. But anyway, yeah. So the thing is that thanks for your question. So like all the categories, you can come up with your categories. Like for example, customer needs. You can see go Jack and grab push for convenience, efficiency, time saving. And if you say, oh, but I only want to look at the only ads that actually worked for them, you can actually see those ads and you can see that customer needs were convenience and cost management and efficiency. Top three things to push if you want to sell well in B2B car hailing in Singapore is convenience, efficiency, cost savings, and this is the example. And this is even example of why it works. So in neural networks, we can actually build the heat maps telling you where people will be looking and where AI is looking at when making a decision. So for example, what this thing says. It says that Grab gonna still beat Gojek in business transportation because they offer meal management and Gojek doesn't. And that's it. Whatever convenience, nice tool, UI, UX, whatever X or I you put in there, it's not gonna work till your product become as good as a second because SMEs eventually will be choosing between these two things. And that's why Gojek obviously working how to put additional communication points, which they do, and of course the product points that they can actually get a share of voice and also efficiently battle as a value proposition to the customer. And all this information you can get, just like this. So what I want to do now, I want to pass the word to Vitaly, who was actually working with all this data, and he just give you a couple of examples that are already based on what I was talking today about. Would you take over the laptop? Extra mouse? Manual. Everything is good here apart from the clicker. So I need to press this. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I work with laptop, yeah.
Okay, guys, my name is Vitaly. My part will be very short, and to be perfectly honest, my part is the easiest one because it was mostly generated by AI. So again, the one except first two slides, because the first two slides are quite ugly. This is the one I created. Right? Yeah, how many of you played this game? No, 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 I'm not creating. I created this slide. It's actually took quite a while to find it. So how many of you played this game? I'm I think boys play it and just hesitating because this game was quite popular in 90s. It worked on the very first laptops, and they worked without so monitor because again, when I came and Alex explained me the idea, I have a large vision, but the work without so monitor is usually they work in a fog of war because you have no idea where your competitors, and you can send this unit and it will get destroyed or like you will lose resources, so you will spend money and you have no idea like how measurable it is. So basically what Alex just showed you is this solution. When you open the map and you can see everything clear, nice, and you can see all the details and so on. And do you know in a regional game how you can get this view? You need to use cheat codes. Yeah, you need to use cheat codes. In our case, the cheat code is like 20 plus years of experience of Alex and the whole team in in AI. So which part was generated by AI? This one. Hey. Yeah. So the Gojek case, in order to create it, because it looks very simple and easy, the one Alex showed, but in order to create it, there was a total about 13,000 pieces of content analyzed, which is impossible to do like by any humans, even if you have a big team of like 20, 30, 50 people. And based on this information, we get some insights. Yep. Uh-huh. This is how it works. So get some insights about who are the key players and like what the kind, how many advertisement they do and so on. Basically the same same information that Alex showed to you. But again, it doesn't tell us much. It just tell like that Grab spending a lot of money on this advertising. Again, not to count in the in-app advertising they have. So how about something more valuable? And the system can show us what exactly what business needs the system identified and how these companies they address these business needs and what information, what posts or social media posts do they use. And you can see that this is the key factors that is important for business users because Gojek and Grab, they easily identify that B2C is already covered, so they need to look for something more marginal. And again, B2B, big corporations who don't care about the average check or the average ride. So this is the target audience, and that's some of the business needs they identify. What's interesting, it's all was created by the system, and I will go even further. And it also, we can just drop in one of the, because the whole report is about 50 pages, but we can just drop in one of the needs. Let's say the business owners, and again, I'm a business owner, I also need this efficient expense management for business and professionals. So you can manage and have it all in one place, and you can see how many of your employees you can allocate the quota and so on. And you see here, this information was done for Singapore and Indonesia. So you see what Alex mentioned, that it started as a translation model. So here, I don't speak Bahasa, but basically systems can speak and can get the information like which post or which needs is most applicable for the business owners. And then we can also move and analyze all the posts by Grab, by Gojek, and see which are the best performing posts for this particular needs. So again, it's very handy because you can immediately see, first, this is for existing market. So you can see immediately where your competitors are. And second, this is for the new market. Imagine you are entering the new market, let's say in Vietnam. So you can analyze what's the social media profile on the market, what they're doing, and what are the niches they're targeting, and what are the most successful campaign. I'll come a bit later, like why do we need to know that? We can also analyze the click-through rates for different campaigns, and just a quick check, which one do you think the better performing ads, or the better performing social media posts? The one to the right. Oh, wait, the left one? No, I think the left one is terrible. I actually was surprised that actually Grab launched this campaign. But the one on the left, it's not clear like what the message is, because again, my background is from photography, from art, and again, for me, looking at both images, it definitely, I mean, you don't need to be an artist, and so it's obviously that the right one catches you. Yeah, meal easily. So meal easily, and again, I think the kind of this structure. So basically, if you go into the system, and later Alex can drop by, the poster on the right has 5 times higher click-through rates. And again, you and me, we look at both, and we kind of intuitively we can say why. But again, imagine if you have like 13,000 pieces of posts, and the system can analyze and give you information. No, yes. So we can see the heat map and why we collect this information, because the next product which Sumin is also have, and again, this is the whole ecosystem, based on the best practice and best results of this of your competitors, you can actually create your own social media generated by AI. And we are talking about the text, we are talking about the image, we are talking about basically all the information needed. Why? Because the next product which Alex mentioned in So Ads is basically the system which automatically create different marketing campaigns and launch the performance marketing for the brand. So the idea is that from understanding the competitors, we can also generate the content which can be used or can be used as a reference, because we see more and more fatigue of the brands and use of IP and so on. And the next step, we can also launch the campaign. So this is full ecosystem, full cycle, finished. Hey, wait. Alex, which one is the next slide? This one, right? No, no, but this is better. You tell. This is IMDA, right?
So let me explain this one. Singapore government decided that that's cool, and they come and invited us to join this thing called Gen AI Sandbox. Have you heard about it? Have you heard about Budget 2024? Yeah, AI, everything AI. He's just a hologram. He's not a real one. Created by Singapore government as well. Yeah. So and also created some monitors. So they come to us and say, we've got solutions for chatbots and for content generation. But this seemed to be not either one. It seems to be about analytics, and this is what the market likes. Why don't you apply? And we applied, and we got accepted into there. So now Singapore companies, which is less than 200 employees, or I think 100 million turnover or something like this, annual turnover, considered to be SMEs, they can actually get and subsidize 70% of the costs, and not even need to claim it because they already paid it to the vendor. So you just come, click the button, say I want it, and then you get it. And you guys can get this thing as well. This will be available till mid of May. So you've got like a few weeks left, and you can get it from our website. If you can go to somonitor.ai, there's a Gen AI Sandbox tab here. You can just ask us. You log in with your core pass, and you get access to this. If you are just a company, like you're doing analytics for yourself, you can just straight away apply. And if you're an agency, there are schemas for them to really spread it across the whole portfolio. If you want to work with this, you are welcome. Anyway, I think I wrote to most of you. I was like carefully picking up who invited to this session. So yeah, you can just ask us directly, or go to our website, or to even IMDA website. You will find this page. It's So Monitor. You can Google So Monitor IMDA. You will find it there. And this QR code is the one showing, just bringing you directly to that place. So just feel free to use it. Pretty much all. You can see we are very excited about this. In fact, now some people say it's not a disruption when it comes to Gen AI, in the sense that just neural networks, they appeared like in 2017. It's kind of really not a disruption. But from another perspective, this is the first time when we can process such a huge amount of data with such a good quality in such a short time. So imagine how many companies can now monetize the data that they have and do a much better job in the analytics. So it's like a really good time for companies like yours as well, because nowadays we can make sense of data. And last time we had to have like a very smart data scientist to work on it. Now we actually don't need it to have it anymore because we have another AI helping us to do a good job. Times three, I think, right nowadays. It's about three. Oh my god. 50,000 ringgit. You got a question? You need to define the brands. Yeah, you need to put them in, and those brands supposed to have some social media page or Google search that they're a campaign that they are running, or maybe just organic page like Instagram and Facebook. They have to be more or less active in social media. Um, Later we're gonna get at LinkedIn and TikTok, but generally speaking, now Facebook, Instagram, or Google search, they have to be active there more or less, and we get the data to process. Good thing you don't need to request any access to it because it's public data, and that's pretty very handy. Yes. Yep. Now, first of all, it's about the channels, right? So, answer is very simple. It works when the channel where your customers, where your competitors are active in, are in the system, right? So, for example, if you're gonna get LinkedIn integrated, and that covers pretty much all the B2B. Of course, search is available now, but LinkedIn will complement that on the social side. So this is one thing. Second, analyzing their websites. I think this is another kind of milestone we're going to do in the nearest future. It will be something that you can just grasp that information from the website. It's a little bit more static. You kind of don't need to have this dynamically updated every day because you're not going to. Some people update it like once for 5 years, so you don't need it to be that often. But it's another very important source. Other than that, if you're a B2B company, you still need to position yourself right. You still need to find a niche where you are the best, or you want to make sure at least you handle properly all the rest. Like in every industry, like in social, like just so monitor itself. There is social listening platforms talking about listening the audience. There's platforms doing competitive analytics. There's platforms doing content analysis. You need to find where you are providing the most of the value. You need to speak to the right audience in the right tone of voice, and you need to differentiate yourself. Maybe you want to find some opportunities that others are not talking about. So this is very important. For B2B, is actually sometimes more important than B2C and more complicated as well, because B2B funnels is something you can study for whole life and still screw it in the end. Yes. this, of course, many. So first of all, there's many APIs for this. Like, in order to get data from Facebook, you just need to apply as a technological company, and Facebook will provide you the data of the company pages, for example. You can ask this question to literally any company in the world, right? So how do we ensure? We, of course, always look into the real numbers that are displayed in social media. We compare them. We have lots of clients for performance advertising for who we run campaigns through AI. We know the real data. We also know the accuracy and click-through rate, so we can see how accurate our model is. And we are very transparent about it. We publish the papers about it. Actually, if you search for my family name, Farseev, and you put Scholar, you'll find like 30 papers in the really good journals about how that thing works under the hood. We are very open. We and no, you cannot replicate it anyway without the data that we have. So we are very open in how it works. And from all this information, usually we just show this to our customers or our future customers, and then they look at it and get convinced, like companies like P&G even get convinced. So then it's fine. But of course, you are right. The legal question is one of the biggest questions about LLMs and about AI in general. So when we were working with IMDA about like to launch in this Gen AI sandbox program, we were definitely discussing quite a bit how you ensure that this is accurate. And luckily, this is a public data, and this content is not going to be used as another ad. Because if that's going to be used in the ad, then how you ensure there's no copyright breach? Which I personally think will be the biggest brick wall very soon for all the Gen AI platforms. But ours are fine because we are working on analytics and we think that this is the right way. Honestly speaking, LLMs are very, very high quality plagiarism engine overall. It cannot create something new, but it can make it look like what it produces very new. That's our opinion. Just a second. You had some questions there as well. I remember there was a hand. If not, no. It was you. Okay. Yeah, I remember there was a hand. And that will be you next. Yeah, very easy actually. Yeah. So 70% of how much? Yeah, that's a good question. Uh, Actually, guys, social listening nowadays costs like 3-5K a month. So it's only big companies can afford this. This one after subsidy costs you 2K SGD a year. So it's like 10 times less and arguably 10 times more powerful than social listening. So this business grows 2-3 times a month nowadays. We foresee that this thing gonna be very known and very big in the end of the year already. Especially government supports it, but government, they have very good visionary, forward-thinking mindset. That's why we prefer to think they choose us because of this. Thanks. And what was your question? Yeah. So first thing, it's personalized to every company it's analyzing, right? So if you work with 20 startups, you will probably have to put those 20 startups and their competitors on a platform. Then you will be holder an agency account, and then each of them will have their own account. Um, if you will be onboarding lots of these guys, most likely they will be using their own account and you will be helping them to use it and probably with your services as well. This is what we have seen. The pattern that we have seen across the market. Agencies quite like to use this platform on behalf of somebody else to help them to utilize. And it makes sense. If you don't get too much of data savvy people in your company, maybe it will be still a bit too complex for you to dive deep in personas and insights and communication styles. But of course, communication professionals, like many people here, they really know how to build out of this story, and then from story build maybe the exact samples of the content and even visuals, and then from there come up with a strategy and even with execution. This is, I mean, depending on the scope of your agency. So long story short, agencies use it quite a bit. In fact, I'll tell you a secret, agencies is our main customer now, if you look for all our customers. And the way they use it, they usually use it on behalf of their customers. They bring their customers in and they help them to make sense of the data by using all this deep tech. Also an agency, you also qualify for subsidy, by the way. During on the pitch stage, so that's what Havas is doing. They go to the new customers that they pitch to. They say, hey, other agencies give you their PPT. I give you the whole analytics of you and all your competition deeper than what your team knows and all other agencies know, and I don't even charge you for this. And then now, who you want to work with them or with me? And then they just like shut the door. I think that would be for a while. Then there will be more and more Gen AI solutions coming analyzing the data, and this space will become more and more crowded. But right now, I think the number of first movers, they of course give a very, very unfair advantage for the pitches for the agencies. It's an unofficial use case of the platform, just to look cool and knowledgeable before you even start working with someone, because it's just so fast. It's setting up this platform is really very fast, and processing also just a matter of a few days. Any other questions? Any country, any language. Going back to the beginning of the talk, right? So it's very good in not, I wouldn't even call it translating. Like all type of technology is translate to English and process the data. Now it's translate and process at the same time. You don't even know what's happening first, translation, processing, or they're all working at the same time. Like this is like for me as a computer scientist, I'm very excited about this. When you speak English, do you think in English, or you still need to you need to convert? Yeah. Yeah, so you're old school engine, yeah? So when I'm talking with Vitaly, for example, right? Both of us can speak some common Slavic languages. But we are staying in Singapore for so long, so we actually speak and sing in English to each other all the time. And now imagine that us can do that in 360 other languages as well. That is actually the big difference before this transformer models, and after Google came up with them to build this multilingual, space. Remember, there was even a hype that one AI talked with another AI, and eventually they end up with their own language for being more efficient. Maybe you have heard about this story. So this is kind of a similar thing. It's human language anyway quite inefficient, to be honest, right? So they can do it much better by their own. All right. So, oh yeah. Alan say was the last one, but you have one. Okay, sure. Yes, 2,000 a year. Yes. Yeah, so you can get up to 10, but for agencies they have their own tier. It's a little bit different structure, a bit more complicated ones, but it's directly related to whether you're gonna onboard the whole your portfolio or just some companies, because that is related to the hardware we have to run to do those processing for you. Some agencies just use even the basic tier, and some agencies go for full scale, like Group M, just 50 brands straight away. It's also very scalable. It's like another thing. Like last time we had the software, we had to onboard one by one. Now you can just like SEMrush, but very strong AI under the hood. No worries. We can definitely help you guys as well. I think your industry probably is the most direct application, and the person who built this himself is a creative director of BBDO and IPG in Asia. So he just built it for himself. We are, just spreading the word, but the main brain behind it, he's our head of product. He's a creative marketer. So he was just, optimizing his work because just too troublesome to do all these things by hand. This is what Vitaly was saying. All right. Another last question? No? No? Yes. No worries. I was joking. Yeah, guys, don't worry. Yeah, they will be first, and then you, please. Yeah. Yep. 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 Social listening is mainly focused on the audiences, I would say. We are more focused on the communication analysis. So if you wouldn't talk about differentiation, but just like a focus, we actually know the social listening platform, and it just like look a little bit like that. But the moment you understand what it's about, it's not social listening. Clearly, it's for different purpose. We of course do know that some other bigger brands they do work on this kind of technology, but right now we're evaluating ourselves about a year in front of them, because the moment that ChatGPT, no, not Chat, GPT-2, GPT-3 were out, at that time we already were working on it. And only after half a year, the humanity know about ChatGPT and really start talk about LLM. So we worked on it quite a bit. That's why we are much better in controlling those large language models and systems that are based on them. Right now, our differentiation is that we are doing social very well, and that we can predict the performance of social, so we can further dive deep in the data. So systems can provide you with a content and ad library, like what everyone else is running, and that's it. That's analytics. 25 ads versus 64. We can tell you what is inside the ad, whether it's working or not, which part of the ad is working. Those tech even patented already, right? Like the heat maps and Spire, right? So, but as a computer scientist, I will tell you, there is no any differentiation in AI world. It's all about doing the right business and bringing value to the customers and doing it faster and to the really right customers. There's no any other differentiation exists nowadays. So if somebody tells you that they have tech, especially AI tech, that nobody can replicate, then just forget about it. Spend your time somewhere else. It doesn't exist nowadays. It's become a commodity. We are just always trying to be ahead by combining business and tech at the same time and doing like things that really help people. And what was your question? Yep. Where do you work? Okay. Yeah, so you are in computer scientist. Yeah, I can tell. Okay, sure. Specifically for you, it's a multi-layer model. Because if you want to do predictions right, you need to predict it at brand level and at industry level, and the geographical level, and at the world level. So each of the levels can contribute to the final prediction with its own confidence. You cannot just pick up bakery and automobile business and combine them together, because obviously benchmark for automobile for CTR will be very different from the bakery. It's a vice versa. Especially if you blend in the B2B, then it will become really disaster. So this is the first thing. Second thing, how do you calculate those multi-view embeddings is a big thing. That's actually my PhD topic, multi-view learning, multi-view machine learning. So how do you combine image and text and all the rest of the stuff in one model in order to do predictions, not more messy, but more actually better, like with better F measure or whatever. And finally, go to Google Scholar, read my papers. It will be a very detailed answer to your question, actually. And cite it, yes, okay. Anyway, I'm still that kind of researcher in my heart. Any other questions? No? Yes? Okay, everybody browsing phone. Okay, then that's the pizza behind. We are all here. We've got WhatsApps. We've got UMLs. We're going to send you this content and everything, OML anyway. To apply for the subsidy, you guys have about, a few weeks. So if you feel like you want it, you do it, or we can have another chat if you're an agency or wherever, if you want to find another way to work with. And anybody who have a deep question on how it works, or LLMs or the tech stuff, which I'm very excited about. Later, Vitaly will tell me that you are too boring, but yeah, if somebody has this kind of tech questions like he has, you ask me, I will be also very happy to answer. Thanks so much. Pizza is there, and coffee is on that like you exit and go to the right, there will be a coffee machine. Special thanks to those who have donated a little bit of money. Otherwise, I cannot buy pizza. Now I can. So everybody can enjoy. Thank you, guys.